Once upon a time, three friends went on a trek in monsoon. But this happened. Story started when they first hopped onto a train to Nerar, and when they got out, they saw a small railway which supposedly goes from the same route in the mountains where they want to go. They wanted to experience traveling through this mini train, but the trains were not running due to some unknown reasons. So they were about to do what everyone else do. Take a taxi. But they gets approached with an offer from a rickshaw guy saying that he would drop them off 1 kilometer before the trekking spot so they could enjoy the waterfalls that comes before it and also will charge less money. They thought this was the best offer they ever got until they did not. Because that man lied to them. From the point that rickshaw dropped them off, they started walking uphill, but there was no sign of any waterfall, neither anyone to ask about it. Just an uphill road with light rain and beautiful views. After walking for almost an hour, they finally saw a waterfall, but they still had no idea how far the trekking spot was. So with less time on their hands, they continued walking after a short break, and while getting distracted by the sceneries, they never lost the sight of their goal. It was time. It was time to start walking again, but now following railway tracks with beautiful sceneries, randomly appearing clouds, and small waterfalls accompanying them. Then they remembered. They remembered that they forgot to bring any food with them except 2 packets of chips and Oreo biscuits. Now it was already too late. If they go back now, it would take at least an hour, and if they move forward, they will have to manage with whatever they have. They had a choice to make here, and they chose. They chose to keep walking, but could not control the hunger and ate half of the supplies midway through. Finally, from this point, it was time to start descent again before starting the uphill trek. But on the way, they found 2 ways. One leading to the top of the mountain and another one leading to somewhere else. They chose to get distracted from the main path again and found this. A huge Lord Ganpati statue carved into a huge stone on the edge of that mountain. This trek is very famous because it's pretty easy to climb and walk if you watch your steps. Easy trek unless you step a little bit on your left and slide yourself into the valley. So they had to be careful moving forward as the clouds started gathering around, making the path blurrier, and heavy rain making it easier to slip into the depth of the abyss. By overcoming different types of paths, rusty stairs, heavy rain, and no food, 3 of them finally reached to the top of the fort and sat there for an hour while eating whatever they had left and also enjoying the cold breeze and light rain. But it was the moment they knew they fucked up. Because of the reason they stopped walking, their bodies got cold and they experienced what we call as bone-chilling coldness. With wet clothes, empty stomach, they started moving to their last destination, which was even higher than the last one, hoping to find a shelter to protect themselves from rain. And finally, they reached there. After taking a break for an hour, it was time for them to start their journey towards home. But the legs were not showing any kind of cooperation as they were too tired after walking more than 4 hours. But somehow they reached the tracks. And in that moment, a miracle happened. A freight train just arrived there. It was the moment when they could not resist themselves from hitching a ride on that train, which was there to repair the tracks as there was some kind of dysfunction on the rails. In that moment, all of them realized something. They realized that all of this was destined for them so that they can enjoy the views of Sahyadri while sitting on a freight train going through clouds. An experience that no one ever had. An experience and such immaculate timing that wouldn't have been possible without all the difficulties that they faced.